ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः प्रज्ञानांशु प्रतानैः स्थिरचरनिकर व्यापिभिर्व्याप्य लोकान् भुक्त्वा भोगान् स्थविष्ठान् पुनरपि दिशणो भासितान् कामजन्यान् पीत्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् स्वपिति मधुरभुं मायया भोजयन्नः माया संख्यातुरीयं परममृतमजं ब्रह्म यत्तन्नतोऽस्मि यो विश्वात्मा विदिज विषयान् प्राश्य भोगान् स्थविष्ठान् पश्चाच्चान्यान् स्वमतिविभवान् ज्योतिषा स्वेन सूक्ष्मान् सर्वानेतान् पुनरपि शनैः स्वात्मनि स्थापयित्वा हित्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् विगतगुणगणः पात्वसौ नस्तुरीयः
Mandukya Karika, chapter 3, Karika 38. Read.
ग्रहो न तत्र नोत्सर्गः चिन्ता यत्र न विद्यते आत्मसंस्थं तदा ज्ञानम् अजाति समतां गतम्
Bhashya Yadeva Atma Satyanubodha. From that sentence you read. 185, line 3. Yadeva Atma Satyanubodha. Page 185, line 3, last phrase.
यदैव आत्मसत्यानुबोधः जातः तदा एव आत्मसंस्थं विषयाभावात् अग्निष्णवत् आत्मनि एव स्थितं ज्ञानम्.
When by the Atma Jnana, which is referred to as Atma Satyanubodha Jataha, when the Atma Jnana takes place, Atma eva Satyam iti Bodha. As per Shastras, by taking to Atmanatma Vichara with a prepared mind, prepared antakarana, was what the Atma Jnana, Puruksha Atma Jnana. At that time, what happens to that Chaitanya Sarupa Atma? in what form it is available. In the state of ignorance, in the waking state, dream state, we have got what is called as anyathagrahana. We perceive, experience Atma in the form, in the nature other than what it is. In the state of sleep, there is agrahana, total non-cognition. But in the state of knowledge, when you have got it is Atma Jnana, Atma eva Satyam. Entire Jagat is Mithya. So when Aparoksha Jnana is there, at that time, what is the nature of that Jnapti Swarupa Atma? What is the nature of that knowledge principle Atma? That is a question for which answer is given by Karika as what? Tada. Tada means at that time when the Atma Jnana, Brahma Jnana is gained, Jnanam. What Jnanam? The Jnapti Swarupa Jnana. The knowledge principle that is our real nature is what? Atma Samstam. Atma Samstam means Atma Swarupataya Sthita. It remains as it is in its true nature. There is no misapprehension. There is no non-apprehension. It is the own Swarupa, that is self-cognitive principle, self-knowing principle, self-experiencing principle, as it is, without even the least tinge of, even the least stain of anything that is superimposed on them, which is explained here with an illustration. So that is yada eva. Atma Satyanubodhena means by the teaching of Acharya, according to the Shastra, when one is discovered directly, aparokshataya, that Atma is Satyam, Jagat Mithya, it is totally free from the Prapancha. So Buddha Jata, Tada Eva, at that time. So what is that? Atma Samstham Jnanam. Jnanam, the Jnapti Swarupa, is what? Atma Samstham, Atmaneva Sitam, Atma Swarupataya Sitam. It remains in its true nature as it is, without any change in itself. Why so? Why there are no features of Vishayas at that time? Vishaya Bhava. In Atma, there is no Vishaya. And now the Antakarma has become exactly like Atma. It is totally withdrawn from the Bahya Jagat. It is totally Antarbukha now, introvert. As a result, there are no imprints of the Vishayas in the Antakarana. That is what is said as Atma Samstham Manaha. So that is Vishaya Bhava. The Vishayas are not there. There is no Vishayakar Antakarana Vritti there. Abhavat. So it remains in its true nature. How? Agnishnavat. Like the heat or the, what is that? The fire principle. The fire principle in the fire. When the fuel is there, the fire principle burns the fuel, and what? It is in terms of flames or the form of the fuel. If it is iron that is burning, it is like the form of the fuel. If it is wood, etc., the flames, etc., will be there. Here, but when the fuel is totally consumed, when the fuel is totally consumed, fire principle abides in the fire as it is. There is no burning. It is in its true nature. So also here, Vishaya Bhava, because absence of Vishaya, Agnishnavat. So that is what is that? Agnishnavat. That is the Aushnya, heat in the fire. When the fuel is consumed, it remains in the fire as the fire principle. So like the Agnishnavat. Atmani eva sthitam. It remains in the Atma means it remains in its Swarupa. So now see, if anyone wants to test oneself, whether I have got Atma Jnana or not, introspect the state of Antakara. You are not asleep, you are awake, yet no Vishayakara vrittis are registered in your Antakara. You need not do anything afterward. That is the state of knowledge. Of course, earlier, Shravana Mana Nidhyasana Atma Vichara has conducted by this person. This is my Swarup. Even that notion, even that concept, this is my Swarupa, though in the beginning it also drops. You remain what you are in terms of Swaprakasha, Swayam Jyoti, knowledge principle, without the experience of anything else whatsoever. So that even the ahankara, notion that the body is me, is not there. There is no cognition of anything else whatsoever. So that is Siddha Jnanam. Jnana here is Nyapti Tattva. Then the last phrase, Ajati Samatam Gatam of Karika, is being now commented by Bhashyakara. Continue.
Ajati Jati Varjitam.
Ajati, don't take Jati here is Varnashrama. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishyudra. Jati is Janma. Here Jati, Janma. So that is Ajati. Jati Varjitam means Janma Varjitam. Janma Varjitam. Then Samatam Gatam means Nirvisheshatam Praptam. There is no Visheshas of any Vishayas, etc. That is explained. Continue.
Samatam Gatam Param Samyam Apannam Bhavati.
Samatam Gatam from Karika. Its meaning is given Param Samyam. Samyam here is Nirvisheshata. No any peculiar or specific features. Param, totally, entirely. Entirely Nirvishesha. Totally free from the features of any objects. So the totally free from any object. So Samyam Apannam Bhavati, it happens. Now Bhashyakara brings to our notice what pratidnya, what declaration, what statement was made by Gaudapadacharya, says in the beginning, in the Karika 2 of this chapter. See, now this is the 38th Karika. In Karika 2, he had made a statement, pratidnya, a declaration. We'll see what the declaration is, which I have forgotten. And he says, Gaudapada Acharya has concluded that description of that. The true teacher or a speaker is the one who knows where he has started and where he is going to conclude. Otherwise, no, some speakers start somewhere, end elsewhere. No connection at all. No. This is what I am going to explain now. Declaration made by the who? Gaudapada Acharya in Karika 2. In 38 says, I have established it. Continue, Yadado.
यत् आदौ प्रतिज्ञातम् अतः वक्ष्यामि अकार्पण्यम् अजाति समतां गतम् इति इदं तदुपपत्तितः शास्त्रतः च उक्तम् उपसंव्रियते.
Yad Adau Pratijñatam. Whatever that was stated or declared in the beginning refers to Karika 2, page 128, Kailas Ashram. Kailas Ashram publication. Page 128, Karika 2. Pratijñatam was declared. What is it? Namely, now put in inverted comma, Ataha Vakshami Akarpanyam Ajatim Samatam Gatam. Up to here, put in inverted comma. This is from Karika 2. Ataha, therefore, Vakshami, I'm going to describe now. Tell means to describe now. Akarpanyam Ajatim Samatam Gatam. Karpanya means Dvaita. Karpanya word by itself means miserliness, a miser, or meanness, wretchedness. Here in this context, it means Dvaita. So Karpanya Dvaita. So Akarpanya means what? Dvaita, Varjita, Advaya Brahma. Dvaita Varjita, Dvaita Rahita, Advaya Brahma is Akarpanyam. The non-duality is non-dual Brahman. So Ajatim, and at the same time it is Samatam Gatam, Nirvisheshatam Praptam, which is Nirvishesha, free from all the features. So Ajatim Varjitam. No, not Ataha Vakshami Akarpanyam Ajatim Samatam Gatam. Iti Idam. This statement was made earlier. This declaration was made earlier. That one now. Tad means this statement or that statement. Upapattitaha Shastrataha cha Uktam. Here Uktam is not simply told, established. This is established by reasoning, upapattitaha. Like illustration of dream, etc. was taken. Shastratascha, from the statement of the Shastra. Uktam, established. Now what is being done? Upasamvriyate is being concluded by Gaudapada Acharya in the this Karika 38. Continue.
अजाति समता गतम् इति एतस्माद् आत्मसत्यानुबोधात् कार्पण्य विषयम् अन्यत्.
So this is what is Advaya Brahma. Anything other than this Advaya Brahma is Karpanyam, Dvaita only. Say again, put in inverted comma, Ajati samatam gatam. This much is inverted comma. Iti etasmad. Atma satyanubodhat. Anyat add jnanam karpanya vishayam. Anyat jnanam karpanya vishayam. Ajati samatam gatam in inverted comma. Etasmad atma satyanubodha. Anyat add jnanam karpanya vishayam. So therefore, other than that which is ajanma rahita and nirvishesha, anything else, anyad, what is, when this is discovered, atma satyanubodha. Other than atma jnana, where ajati, the sama brahma is directly experienced or known. So the other than that, any knowledge other than that is karpanya vishayam, is karpanya dvaita, dvaita vishayam. It pertains to dvaita only. This is corroborated by Shruti quotations. Continue.
यहा वै एतद् अक्षरं गार्गी अविदित्वा अस्मात् लोकात् त्रैति सः कृपणः इति श्रुतेः.
O Gargi, Brihadaranyaka 3:8-10. Yahavai, any individual. O Gargi, etad aksharam aviditva. Without gaining the aparoksha jnana of this akshara Brahma, etasma lokat praiti. He leaves this world, he dies. Any human who dies without gaining this knowledge of this Akshara Brahma says, Saha is what? Kripanaha. Kripana means miser, in the sense here is a mean person, is a wretched person. See, in the world, a miser is a person who, accumulates money or wealth without enjoying oneself. Even he doesn't use for oneself, some inhibition. So I should not spend it, I should accumulate it. A charitable person enjoys wealth for oneself and also shares with others. Likewise here, now this Ajnani is compared to a Kripana miser because this Ajnani is a human being. We are not talking about animals and other creatures. Human being. Being a human being, he has got a precious wealth of buddhi, which has got sara vichara capacity, which has got a faculty of discrimination buddhi, and that is meant for discovering Atma Sarupa. Having got the wealth of discovering Atma Sarupa, the buddhi, he doesn't make use of it for oneself and leaves the body. Just as a miserly person, his own wealth doesn't use for oneself, and when he dies, he leaves everything and goes back. Vyasa humorously, in a satire, he says, Kripanena samodata bhuvi kopi na vidyate anashnanneva vittani yah parebhya prayachati. He says, there is no greater charitable person than a miser. Why? without enjoying the wealth for oneself, entire wealth he gives others and goes. Whatever charitable person, he enjoys himself and shares with others. You see, who is a great charitable person? He doesn't enjoy and gives it. He doesn't give, but he can't take that. So, otherwise, he would have carried. And if it was allowed, there would not be anything left out in this earth by this time. Anyway, here it is. This person doesn't use the buddhi. And there is a mean person, a wretched person, who has wasted one precious human life. Don't take for granted human life just like that. Jantunam nara janma durlabham. For among the living beings, human embodiment is very, very difficult to get. Having got it, still more difficult is to get the guidance on the Adhyatma side, to guidance, to know who am I, etc. So, having got it, it is our foremost duty to see that this aparoksha jnana is gained before we say goodbye to this world. If deficiencies are there, earnestly pray to Bhagavan. He is ready to help us. He will see that whatever that is lacking is made good. He will take the reins in his hand, but you have to submit yourself to him. You have to submit in such a way, in an unquestioned way. Don't ask him, why do you do so, why don't you do that, etc. It is not as you think. He knows the best. So therefore, having been born as human being, we have a first and foremost duty towards ourselves also. Shastras are very particular that one should discharge one's duties. If they are not discharged, that mind is not fit to take to this inquiry because guilty conscience is there. I should have done it. I had to do it. I should have done it. I have not done it. But one is discharge one's duties. Kartavyam kritam maya bhavitavyam bhavattev. I have done, depending on my status in life, what needs to be done. What is going to happen is going to happen. Now let me mind my own business. What is my business? Atma Vichara, to gain the aparoksha Atma Jnana. Why? Because this human birth is very rare. If I waste my life in this, I know not when my next birth is going to come as a human being. And when I get that, I don't know what is going to the environment. There may be total atheism. If you utter the word Upanishad or Gita, you may get rotten eggs. So let me make best use of it. And yet, if I not proceeding, pray. So the person who has got this knowledge becomes a contented person, fulfilled person. Continue.
प्राप्य एतत् सर्वः कृतकृत्यः ब्राह्मणः भवति इति अभिप्रायः.
So, the one who has accomplished this becomes a kritakritya. Take anvaya. Etat prapya sarvaha kritakrityaha brahmanaha bhavati iti abhipraya. Of what is said so far, this is the abhipraya. This is the opinion of conclusion of Gaudapada Acharya. Etat prapya. Have you got this knowledge? Atma Satyanubodha. Have you got Aparoksha Jnana of Atma Brahma? Sarvaha. All people without exception. No distinction at all. Kritakrityaha. Krityam kritam yena saha. One who has done what needs to be done. Contented person. One who has accomplished the purpose, the very purpose of human life. Human life is not meant for khao, piyo, maja karo. Human life is not meant for sense pleasure. Sense pleasures can be had in a better way in other embodiments. Human life is meant to gain Atma Jnana, Brahma Jnana. It is designed that way. And if we don't make use of it for that purpose for which it is designed, we are like the child who is making use of a diamond for playing as a marble. So we will turn out to be such foolish people. So therefore, such a kritakritya, one who has accomplished the very purpose of human life. As a result, what happens? He becomes Brahmanaha bhavati ityabhipraya. He becomes Brahmana. This is not Varnashram Brahmana. Here Brahmana is Brahma Swarupa Nishtha. Brahma Janati iti Brahmana. Real Brahmana is he only, not the Varnashram, the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So Brahma Janati, he has got Aparosha Jnana Brahma. Brahma Swarupa Nishtha. One who is steadfast in Brahma Jnana or in Brahma Swarupa, that is one Swarupa. Abhipraya. Now the question comes, sir, what you said is correct. I accept it. The one who has got this knowledge becomes Kritakritya. And this is the such highest knowledge. But please tell me, why such knowledge is not taken to by many people? Bhagavan Krishna himself says, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddha. Rare one among thousands of people puts full effort to gain the knowledge. Among thousands of people who put effort, some rare one gains the knowledge. Why so? It is why, see, people do not give heed to this knowledge or apply themselves or devote oneself closely to the pursuit of gaining this knowledge. Why don't they do that? Let us see the prastavana connection to this Karika by Bhashyakara. Read Yadyapidam.
यद्यपि इदम इत्थं परमार्थ तत्वं तथापि तस्मिन् केचित् मुह्यन्ति इति आह.
Yadyapi idam itham paramartha tattva. Though this is a fact. What is it? Idam paramartha tattvam itham. This paramartha principle, ultimate divinity principle, itham, is of such nature, in the sense the one who has got this knowledge always what? That is, discovers himself to Paramananda Swarupa, Brahma Swarupa, free from Dvaita, Karpanya. So he discovers himself to Akarpanya, the non-dual principle only. Tathapi, even then, tasmin kechin muhyanti. As far as this knowledge is concerned, kechit, quite a number of people, muhyanti, the word, they are disturbed, perplexed, commit mistake. So they are disturbed in mind. Even they get scared of this knowledge. Such a great knowledge. How is it? So, because this is found in the world. Adhyatma means the common man will run away from that. Even suppose a youngster takes to this Vedanta, they will dissuade. Arey, this is not the time to take to this. After retirement, you have become useless for everything. At that time, you can go to satsang, sit in that satsang hall in a corner, leaning on the pillar, and snore off. At least what will happen? Expense of sleeping pills will be less. The old age, they say, after 50, you have to run from post to pillar of nursing home to hospital to keep the body erect. He is not at ease with the body. What mind you are going to apply for this pursuit, inquiry? Is only a self-invented argument to escape from what once needs to be done, to the detriment of ourselves only. We are fooling ourselves. We are cheating ourselves by such arguments, because they don't know what it is all about. So, see, point is, as far as children are concerned, if the parents take to that, they automatically take. If the parents themselves dissuade, what can they do? Unless some strong past sanskaras are there, which they will throw away all this thing and take to that. Doesn't it happen that way? Hardly people encourage their children to. There are many people who are devout. Any sadhu comes, any sannyasi comes, they are on the forefront to honor him, serve him, all they do. But when it comes to the sannyasa of their own son, they get frightened. They get frightened that way. So therefore it says, so though this Paramatma Tattva is so great, why people commit mistake of not taking to it? Why are they disturbed in their mind in terms of taking to this? Answer is given in this 39th Karika. The reason why many do not take to this knowledge. Read Karika 39.
अस्पर्शयोगो वै नाम दुर्दर्श सर्वयोगिभिः योगिनो बिभ्यति यस्माद् अभये भयदर्शिनः.
Asparsha, this is a special phrase coined by Gaudapada Acharya. Atma Satyanubodha, Asparsha Yoga. Asparsha Yoga, Vainama, Durdarshaha, Sarva Yogi Bhi. Second line, he, Yasmat, he, Abhaye, Bhayadarshinaha, Abhaye, Bhayadarshinaha, Asmat, no, not Bhayadarshinaha, Yoginaha, Asmat Bibhyati. He Abhaye Bhayadarshinaha Yoginaha Asmat Bibhyati. Gaudapada Acharya describes this Atma Jnana as what? Asparsha Yoga. What is meant by Asparsha Yoga? Before that, let us say what is meant by Sparsha. You know, Sparsha means contact, touch. In the sense, Sambandha, some connection. Sambandha. So the Asparsha Yoga is Sparsha Rahitaha Yoga. Yoga, union, wherein there is no sambandha, no relation. See, the statement itself sounds contradictory. When you say union, union can be between minimum two, can be more also. But without any contact, yes. How is that? What do you mean by union? There is no actual union. What is that? Here, yoga means union in the sense Brahmani eki bhavaha. Identity with Brahman. Due to ignorance, me as Jiva, I mistook myself to be distinct and different from Brahman. It appeared as though two, Brahma or Ishvara and me the Jiva. Now by this knowledge, the distinction is knocked off and find that me itself is Brahma. Jiva in Swarupa itself is Ishvara in Swarupa. It's called as Jiveshvara Aikya. Identity of Jiva and Ishvara. That's what yoga. So, Eki Bhava. This can be corroborated by Shruti. Asango hi ayam purusha iti ukte. This Purusha, Atma, is asanga, not connected to anything. Why not? There is nothing other than it. Not that there are some thousands of things are there and alak niranjan. No. Yes, Virakta Jnani is said to be alak, indifferent. That is from whose standpoint? Ajnani's standpoint. Ajnani sees the Dvaita Jagat, which Jnani has no connection with at all. From Jnani's standpoint, there is no Dvaita Jagat at all. Me Swarupa only is there. So from that way, Ayam Purushaha is Asanga. He is not connected to. When there is no sparsha, when there is no sambandha with anything whatsoever. So, Purusha iti ukte means Brahma bhavam praptasya. In the case of a person who has discovered oneself to be Brahma, sparsha sambandha bhavaha siddha. He has no connection whatsoever with anything because there is nothing other than Brahma and Brahma alone. This is the nature of this Atma Satyanubodha, the Atma Jnana, Brahma Jnana. So there is a Asparsha Yoga. Why? Means considered so in Upanishads, declared so in Upanishad. Asango Hyavai Purushaha. Say, Sarva Yogi Bhi Durdarsha. Says Durdarsha. Very difficult to get. By whom? All yogis. We have to be careful with this word yogi. Here yogi means here Dvaita Darshibhi Yogibhi. Karmis. Any seeker from whose vision there is dualistic world. Dvaita Darshi Yogi. Those from whose vision there is duality, for such yogis means seekers, karmis. Here not jnani, yogi is not jnani. Including Ashtanga Yogi also. Ashtanga Yogi also is included here. But we have got Dvaita vision. Durdarshaha is very, very difficult to accomplish. Dukkhena, ayasena, a lot of effort they have to take to this. Why so? The reason is they are abhaye bhayadarshinaha. Actually, Brahma Sarupa is a state of abhaya, state of fearlessness. A state, bhaya also can be samsara, a state of total freedom from samsara, where there is no occasion for fear, where there is no occasion for sorrow. All that is there is Paramananda only. No Janma Marana, no Mrityu. There what there. Bhayadarshinaha. They see the fear. You know what happens? In this knowledge, first casualty is ahankara, the notion that the body is me. Frightened. Ooh, what happens to me? Because with me, body is me. Fear. That is the bhayadarshina. That is again, if the Jagat is not there, what will I do? Because everything is centered on Jagat only for this ignorant person. That is the bhayadarshina. Then yoginaha, this karmi, dvaitadarshi, those who have got the notion of duality, asmad, asparsha yoga. From this asparsha yoga means from this atma jnana, brahma jnana, bibhyati, get frightened. See, as we have already seen this, the cause of fear is dvitiya vastu. Dvaitadi bhayam bhavat. From something other than me, the fear is. In Tattva Jnana, Brahma Jnana, there is only Atma and Atma alone. There is nothing other than that. There is no quad. Second thing is not there. Dvaita is not there. Therefore, in Jnana Yoga, it is Bhayavarjitaha, free from. Whereas these Dvaita people, in knowledge, there being the destruction of Ahankara, they think that it is my destruction. Because they have mistaken the body as I. See, Ahankara Nasha, you have to welcome. It reveals you your Swarupa, Satchidananda Swarupa. But the notion that the body is me is so deeply rooted, its elimination, ending the mistake as the destruction of Atma oneself only as such. So therefore they are afraid of this. Bhashya asparsha yogo namayam.
अस्पर्श योगः नाम अयं सर्वसंबंधाख्य स्पर्शवर्जितत्वात् अस्पर्श योगः नाम वै स्मर्यते प्रसिद्धः उपनिषत्सु.
Asparsha yoga. Nama is called, named. Ayam. This is called, this jnana is called as what? Asparsha yoga. Why? The sparsha is in that Advaita Anubhava, Atma Jnana, Atma Anubhava, Brahma Anubhava. This sparsha is not enough. Sparsha of what? Tikakara says, Tatra Varnashramadi Dharmena. Duties. Do this, do that. Don't do this, don't do that. Do that, don't. No connection. Papadi malena cha. Papa, punya, janma, marana, by this all mala, dirt. No. Just sparshaha na bhavati asmaditi. In Advaita Anubhava, there is no connection whatsoever, no contact whatsoever with do's and don'ts. Big problem, do's and don'ts. Main things you have to do, but you can't do. Main thing you should not do, and you invariably land into it. So therefore, From this, such sparsha, such contact is not there with such, that what? These are the do's and don'ts and papa, punya, janma, marana and all those things. In short, sukha dukkhatmaka samsara, no connection at all. Ayam sarva sambandhakhya sparsha. Varjitatva. Because of this yoga, varjita means free from, means it frees you from. This knowledge frees you from all such sambandhas. Or sambandha, connection with samsara. Varjitatva. Asparsha yoga nama vai. It's called as what? Asparsha yoga. Why? Why means here prasiddhi. What is that? Smaryate Upanishadsu. So it is smaryate. Smaryate, considered, declared, where Upanishadsu. In Upanishad, na karmana lipyate papena ityad. Na lipyate karmana papakena ityad. One doesn't get connected to papa, means samsara, it doesn't get connected to. No more janma, marana, etc. He gets liberated. So this is what very well described where in the Upanishads. It is durdarsha. Why it is durdarsha? We'll see that.
स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गो ब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं शोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो